Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a fabulous morning or day whenever you're watching this. I wanted to talk a little bit today about setting. So, the other day in class, we were talking about characters and their pressures and things like that. And we're going to keep working on character, and we're going to start talking about how setting and character connect to each other. But before we can do that, we need to talk a little bit about setting on its own and some things we might want to notice about setting as we're reading. So I have a couple terms that I want to tell you about. The first one is mood. So the mood of something, if you think of the word mood, you might think of like the way something feels, right? Like if I say, oh, my mood is happy or something like that, you know I'm feeling happy. So mood is going to be the feeling created in the reader. It's the feeling you have while reading about a certain part of the book or while reading the book or while thinking about the place that a book is set. The tone, on the other hand, if we think of tone, we might think about like how something is said. Like sometimes people will get mad about someone's tone. They'll say it's like disrespectful, or maybe it's like a sarcastic tone, or sometimes we can have a more positive tone to our speaking. So tone is going to be the attitude of the author or the speaker in the text. So it's going to be more like how the character is feeling or how the author is portraying this place or this thing that is happening. And then finally, there's the atmosphere. So you might have heard this if you go to like a restaurant. People will say like, oh, it has such a great atmosphere. The atmosphere is sort of the overall feeling created by both the mood and the tone. So when those two combine, there can be a certain atmosphere. Sometimes the mood and the tone are really, really similar. Sometimes they can be different. And that will change what the atmosphere is like. Settings have moods, tones, and atmospheres in our stories. So we want to consider those things when we're thinking about our stories, or thinking even about our real life. Like think about your favorite place in the world. Just imagine it for a moment. What does your favorite place feel like? Now think about your least favorite place in the world. What does that place feel like? Thinking about that, you can tell that places have feelings. Places create feelings in us, and places just have a general sort of atmosphere when you walk in. They feel a certain way. So we want to think about how our settings feel. So as you are reading, one thing you can do is ask yourself a couple of questions. You can ask yourself, what does this place and time feel like? How does it make you feel? Is it a place you want to go? If so, why? What's good about it? If it's not a place you want to go, why not? What is bad about it? It could be sort of a neutral place and with some good and some bad. But places are going to have some sort of feeling. You might ask, does it feel different than it did before? Or has the feeling changed in some way? So sometimes a place might feel great at one point in a story and then not feel so great at another point in the story. And you might want to notice, like, wait, what's different? What has changed that might have caused this feeling to change, this mood to change? And then does it feel different to you than it does for the characters? So sometimes mood can be different from tone, right? So sometimes the mood you get, the feeling you get, is going to be different than the tone or the way that the character is expressing their feeling, because you might know something the characters don't know, or you might understand, that because they're in a story, you might sort of have some information they don't have, so you might get a different feeling than your characters get, or you might have a certain feeling about something. So mood and tone can be different. So asking yourself these couple of questions can really help you pay attention to the mood, tone, and atmosphere of the setting. And that'll help us start to think about how setting affects character as we keep focusing and digging in on our characters. So today, while you're reading, take a moment to think about the places in your book. Maybe jot them down. Ask yourself, what do these places feel like? Have they changed at all while you've been reading the book? Is there a difference between how you feel the mood and how the speaker feels the tone? All right, guys, have a fabulous day.